Welcome to the third video of my series of which foods to have in long-term supply and the quantities to have. Today we're going to be talking about, I'm actually combining two categories. We'll be talking about storing fats and oils and milk and dairy. Welcome to Urban Prepping with Pam. I'm Pam. Hello again, friends. We're back for video number 3 in our series, and I decided to combine two categories today because they're kind of short and there's not a whole lot to say. So today we're going to be talking about stocking fats and oils and milk and dairy. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd like to welcome you to go ahead and hit subscribe and also the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I put up a new video. So today we're going to talk about a 1-year supply of fats and oils. First I'm going to go over fats and oils. So turn your page, get a fresh page on your notebook. I hope you have a notebook, or if you don't, a piece of paper. Fats and oils will be on its own page and milk and dairy will be on a separate page. And I'm going to give you the numbers first, and then we'll back up and talk about them. So for a 1-year supply per person, they recommend that you have 4 pounds of shortening, 2 gallons of vegetable oil, 2 quarts of mayonnaise, 1 quart of salad dressing, and 4 pounds of peanut butter. That is a total of 25 pounds. Now, the LDS recommends a total of 30 pounds. They have added canned butter. Well, first of all, I do safe canning, and so I don't can butter. I don't know what kind of butter is canned. I've never seen that. Now, I can imagine maybe it would be a good idea to add to this list ghee, because that's a clarified butter, and it is shelf stable. You can buy it. I get it at Aldi. They have a jar of ghee. Ghee tastes really good, and you can use it as butter. So yeah, let's go ahead and add 5 pounds. Let's add 5 pounds of ghee. I do have ghee. I just bought it because I wanted to have it. And but I didn't really count that in my book. I should actually write that down. Okay. Now I put a note down here that Amazon, if you look on Amazon, they have canned butter. It's called Red Feather Creamery canned butter from New Zealand. 6 cans are $80. I don't have that kind of money to spend on that stuff. I would recommend just getting ghee, and that's expensive enough. You could make your own, but I think at Aldi I pay $6 for a jar of ghee, and I think that's probably it's probably a 1 pint. So that's 16 ounces. That's a 1 pound of ghee for $6. But again, there are videos right here on YouTube, and I've watched them on making your own ghee. So if you can find butter on sale around the holidays, a lot of times butter does go on sale. You know, snatch up a bunch of butter and make your own. And they say that you don't can it, but they say that if you keep it in your refrigerator, it'll keep. I buy the stuff from Aldi because it's shelf stable. I don't have to refrigerate that until I open it. Okay, so let's back up. Shortening. You know, shortening can be anything. I don't buy Crisco. I don't have it. I don't have Crisco. I don't use it. So I do have lard, and so my shortening is actually lard. I won't use Crisco. So lard, you know, the lard will go bad after a while. I buy mine in the Mexican store. Sometimes it's hard to find. You can find them in Mexican stores if you have them nearby, and they come in a big plastic container. But I use it anyway in my kitchen, and so I will rotate because I don't think that lard will keep forever. I don't know if there's an expiration date on that or not. But that's your personal choice. If you use Crisco, go ahead and buy the Crisco. Just for myself, I have lard, and you can substitute if you need to like that. So for my husband and I, we actually have I think I have even more than 4 gallons of vegetable oil. And here's why. I don't buy salad dressing. I make salad dressing. So I actually upped the amount of vegetable oil and vinegar so that, and I have the packaged seasoning mixes, to make my own, or I just, vinegar and water too. I'm vinegar and oil, excuse me. Vinegar and oil, I love that, and so does my husband. So I don't always have to have flavored salad dressings. But they do make mixes, and I do have some mixes, Italian seasoning for salad dressings. So, but that's up to you. If you like salad dressings, go ahead and buy some, and they're recommending that you have 1 quart of salad dressing, which seems awfully low. I mean, 1 quart of salad dressing for one person for a whole year, that doesn't sound right to me. So I don't know. I don't buy it anyway. It's very rare I buy salad dressing. So we really upped the vegetable oil, and we have plenty of vinegar. I buy vinegar too. So, and then peanut butter. They put peanut butter under the fats category because but it is also a protein. And they recommend 4 pounds of peanut butter per person. So we have that. I mean, so this is for a family of 2, like me and my husband. That's a total of 50 pounds, but we're talking 60 pounds adding that ghee. And I am going to add the ghee that I do have. I've purchased already. I just, and it is actually downstairs with our long-term storage. I just didn't write it in my book. So 60 pounds for a family of 2, and to have that ghee on hand is really nice because there really is no long-term way to store butter except in your freezer. And you certainly can have butter in your freezer. I have butter in my freezer. I buy it when it's on sale and I freeze it. And if you have a generator to keep that freezer going in case you run out of power, that's great, And hopefully we are never in a situation where we run out of power. But you have to think of all scenarios. So that's it for the fats and oils. I mean, that's a pretty simple. I'll say it again. Per person, you should have 4 pounds of shortening, 2 gallons of vegetable oil, 2 quarts of mayonnaise, 1 quart of salad dressing, and 4 pounds of peanut butter, and I'm going to say 5 pounds of ghee, which is similar to canned butter. If you can afford it and you want to buy canned butter off of Amazon, more power to you. I don't have that kind of money to spend, so, I'm finding alternatives, and that would be with ghee. Turn the page, get a fresh page. We're going to talk about milk and dairy. Now, this is kind of, this was difficult for me because my husband is lactose intolerant, and so he can't drink milk. So, okay, I'm going to give you the numbers first, and then we'll back up and talk about it. They are recommending 40 pounds of dry milk per person, and that's a year's worth. 12 cans of evaporated milk per person for a year. And then, this is a little difficult, but they say 13 pounds of other dairy. And at first when I saw other dairy, what are they talking about, other dairy? Well, I guess cheese powder or canned cheese. Other dairy could be canned cheese, I guess. But Again, this is really hard for me because we don't eat a lot of dairy in this house because my husband can't eat it. The thought of buying canned cheese in this house is just, I mean, it's foreign to me. We can't have canned cheese. I mean, I can eat it, but I'm not going to eat it alone. I'm not going to sit there and eat. My husband loves cheese. He loves milk. I'm not going to sit there and eat it in front of him and have him looking longingly at my spoon. So we just don't have a lot of dairy in this house, and this was difficult. So let me back up to the dry milk. So according to their plan here, we should have 80 pounds of dry milk. That ain't going to happen in my house for several reasons. It's expensive. I mean, the expense of having that in my house is just too much for me. I like Sanilac. I'm real particular about the dried milk that I use. So a lot of it just tastes gross to me. The one tolerable brand for myself is Sanilac. And it's expensive. It's like a small can of it is $10. I can't even imagine buying 80 pounds of that. I mean, the cost alone. And it's not so much, okay, you know, maybe if I really concentrated and bought a can a week or something. But the thing is, we don't use milk in this house. So that's not even something that I can rotate. I can't rotate that. So, now if you have children that drink milk, you know, it's probably going to be a necessary thing for you to think about having more dried milk than what we have. We have a couple of cans of dry milk, and that's all I have. And I don't even know what a can weighs. All I know is I usually have an open can in my kitchen. It usually gets hard before I get to the bottom of the can. So now what I'm doing is I'm pouring it into glass jars, and I'm vacuum sealing the jars, which keeps it better longer. Okay. But I still don't use very much of it because my husband can't eat it. So for our household, this was really, I know it's necessary, but it's just not feasible for us. And I think about, you know, if one of our children need help or whatever, and they've got children, you know, what about milk? Well, you know, I really can't help them as far in the milk department. I just can't. I can't, for myself, I can't store that kind of milk away. And I feel bad about it, but I try to be realistic, and I'm only putting in long-term storage the things that we can rotate. Okay. If I can't, it's kind of like what I said in my previous video, that, you know, if you don't eat rice, if you never eat rice and you don't know how to cook rice, maybe storing rice isn't the best thing for you. Either that or learn how to eat it and learn how to, you know, cook it properly so that you'll like it. But, you know, if there's something like if you hate peanut butter, what if you're allergic to peanut butter? You should not have peanut butter stored away for long-term storage. That's not going to be feasible for you and your family. Well, because of my husband's lactose intolerance, storing away a lot of dairy products is not feasible for my family. But I know that if that's not an issue for you, it probably is a good idea for your family, but you have to make that assessment. I can't make that for you. So yes, I do have dried milk stored, but not a lot of it. Certainly not 80 pounds of it. No, nowhere near that. I have a couple of dozen cans of evaporated milk. I do use that on occasion to make pumpkin pies. I like to use it when I'm out of creamer to put cream in my coffee. My husband can't have it, but I can. And so it works well as a creamer for coffee. So I do have a couple of dozen. I have 24 cans of evaporated milk because I will use it. And so I can rotate that. The other dairy, I don't have it. I don't have, now I just bought a little bit of cheese powder from Asher Standard that I picked up on Monday. That's for the popcorn. That's not for long-term storage. So I don't have canned cheese. That's an impossibility in this house. I mean, my husband would just think I'm being cruel if I ate canned cheese in front of him and he couldn't have any. So I just, you know, I just don't. And cheese powder. So we're very lacking in the dairy department. I know that. Now, the one substitute that you can do is you can make nut milks. And so I have a jar of, you know, nuts don't store forever either. And but you can vacuum seal, and they'll keep a lot longer if you vacuum seal them. So if you want, you can have a jar of almonds, vacuum seal them, and they will keep for quite a long time in your long-term pantry. What I did, so that I wouldn't have to grind it, is I bought almond butter. And I can make, it's already ground up, so I just take the almond butter and water and I put it in my blender and I make my own almond milk that way. And my husband likes almond milk. He really does. And so for us, I've got almond butter stored away for long-term storage to use. I can mix it and make a nut milk. If we need milk for something, I can use a nut milk for him. So if you're not allergic to nuts, if you do have a lactose intolerant problem in your household like we do, there's an option. And so I have substituted that for a lot of my dairy that is lacking. Do what's best for your family. Only you know what your family's needs are. So when it comes to this dairy, yeah, I'm lacking, but I have substituted so that I could make almond milk with the almond butter, which as long as you don't open the almond butter jar, it'll keep for a long time. So, and that I will rotate because I make the almond butter here at the house. So, just on a regular basis. So there we go. We've got our third video of our fats and oils and our milk and dairy. Let me just go over these numbers one more time. Milk and dairy. 40 pounds of dry milk per person for your family. There's an asterisk by that. 12 cans of evaporated milk per person for your family. And 13 pounds of other dairy, whatever that might be. And just a final note on the evaporated milk. You know, you could make regular milk. Evaporated milk has some of the water taken out of it. So if you want, you can just store evaporated milk. It might be cheaper actually than the powdered milk. And I'm not sure how big those cans are. I think they might be 12 ounces. So if you poured 12 ounces, a 12-ounce can in a pitcher and added 12 ounces of water, you've just made milk. Regular milk, like if you went to the store and had milk. So that might be a better option than buying the powdered milk, and it actually tastes a lot better, so maybe the kids would be more willing to drink it. I'm just putting it out there. That's an option. So that is it for today's video. The next video, I'm going to be talking about sugars. Long-term sugars. The one after that will be cooking essentials. So I don't know, I might combine the two. We will see. I'm not sure. The other categories we have are water, fruit, vegetables, and that's it. So yeah, that's it for today. And come back for the next video, the fourth video, where we'll for sure be talking about sugars and maybe some other things. And again, if you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you're notified the next time I put up a video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.